I first fell in love with art maybe second grade. My parents were gifting me a lot of art kits. You know those art kits that have like the color pencils, the markers, the painting. They gifted me those every year for my birthday, and I just like kind of kept drawing. I didn't use crayons when I first started. I used pencils, mainly black and white. For me, in order to depict black skin, it was more of shading. Also figuring out how light hits our skin. Light hits black skin in such a beautiful way that's different than other skin tones. I took my first clay class in 8th grade, fell in love with the feeling of clay. I love to get dirty in my work. I love to touch things. I'm a tangible person. I like to touch textures, and I've always been that way since I was a kid. During my time in high school, a lot of sculptures in museums didn't look like me, and I didn't really like that. So I decided to make work that looked like my family. I also wanted us to see ourselves in these places where we didn't feel invited. Like I would go to the museum and I would see pieces that didn't look like me, and I didn't feel welcome or seen as a child. Now when I create sculpture work and kids resonate with it, that's such a treat to me, because it's like you're seeing yourself in spaces where they didn't make the space for us. One time I showed work at the Walters Museum in Baltimore, and I was showing it in the Renaissance section of the museum. And obviously there's a lot of white art, but there was one sculpture in there, and it was of a black slave. And I was like, okay, cool. Now the curator was like, okay, yeah, we're gonna try to like dismantle all this. She's actually a white woman. She's like, we're gonna dismantle all this. I wanna have your grill sculpture in this room. I feel like that would challenge the artwork around it. And I was like, love that. Let's do it, let's do it. And I got so many photos from teachers, parents with their children next to this big grill sculpture, right? And I loved it because I'm like, these kids are happy. Like they're like, that looks like my uncle, that looks like my dad. The familiarity is such a beautiful thing to witness, right? Because essentially I do make the work for myself, but I also want us to feel seen in it as well.